Hey, yo, what's up, my little script kiddies? So today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make a Roblox sneaker resale simulator bot. So if you guys do want me to teach you guys how to make a bot for other Roblox games, go ahead and let me know down in the comment section and make sure to subscribe. So today we're going to be kicking it off pretty easy. We're going to do a sneaker resale simulator bot. This one has been asked for quite a while now. So if you guys do like this video, make sure to hit that like button. If you guys want me to teach you how to make a bot for a different game, let me know down in the comment section, and there's no reason to not subscribe. If you're watching this video right now and you're not subscribed and you don't go subscribe in the next 10 seconds, I will be, taking your YouTube account from you and making you subscribe. So go ahead and do that right now if you want to keep your YouTube account, if you want to keep your Roblox account, if you want to keep your V-Bucks. Otherwise, I'm taking all of it if you don't subscribe right now. So this is going to be a pretty easy bot. There's a couple different ways we could go about it, but I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make it. I will not be putting any links in the description. There's not going to be any copy pasting. You're going to have to do this all yourself because I am teaching you how to do it. I am not giving it to you. If you want me to give it to you, then, well, I'm straight. So, yeah. Okay. So there are a couple steps that you're going to have to take right now if you want a Roblox bot. Okay, guys, so I'm going to walk through installing Python with you guys. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to Google. You're going to type in Python download. Click that. We're going to download the first one right here. We're going to go to download Python 3.12.4. It's going to download up here. We're going to open this. If you don't know how to open a file, I suggest looking up a tutorial. So what we want to do is right here, add Python to path. And then you can do this one if you want or don't do it. And then click install now. So if you didn't click that top one right there, your computer's about to get hacked. So now we're installing, and also there's no way to go back either. It's you just hacked now. So there's nothing else you can do. All right, I'll be back in a minute when this is installed. All right, so now we're going to download Visual Studio Code. Make sure it's Visual Studio Code because there's a Visual Studio where it doesn't say code at the end, and that's the wrong one. You'll get hacked if you download that. So we're going to click download. The download's going to start. I think Python's still installing. Yeah, that's still installing. So now we have Python and... Oh, wait, no, I don't need to download it again. I almost downloaded it again. Okay, so we have that going. We can start installing Visual Studio Code. Whoops. Click cancel. So we do accept the agreement. So we're going to just click accept and then next. So now that you click next, it is going to charge your credit card. And then now we're going to click next again. Next again. We can create a desktop icon. We can also select these. I didn't read them, so I'm not really sure what those ones were for. And then now you just, I think, wait right here. Yeah, wait for that. Python was successful, so let's close that. And so what we're going to do is there's a couple things that we need for our bot that are super important that I wanted to make sure I don't miss a step. So I went ahead and I hacked this kid's computer right here. And I'm going to run it on his computer to make sure I'm starting from scratch and I don't miss any steps for you guys. So I'm doing this for you guys. This is really important. Okay, so we have Visual Studio downloaded. We have Python downloaded. This kid's computer is super slow. Okay, so this is Visual Studio. We're going to click our design that we want. So I usually stick with dark modern because this is like a hacker theme. There's other themes here. That's dark plus. That one's kind of cool. The combi dark. I think I'm going to click. I'm going to stick with combi dark. I think that looks cool. Just skip all this stuff. Mark as done. Actually, I really don't like this. Okay, no going back now. So we're just going to stick with it. So new file. So what we're going to do is make a new folder on the desktop. File, open folder, desktop, We're gonna name this Roblox hacks XXX scammed. There we go. So now we have our new Roblox hacks folder, and we're going to open this folder into here so that way we can see what we're doing. So if this pops up, yes, trust, I always trust it. So now that we have this open, we are all set now to start making our mods. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to install Pi Auto GUI. So type in pip install. But actually, before we do that, let's go ahead and make our script first. So up here, we're gonna hover over the folder and we're gonna click this new file and name this file whatever you want, as long as it doesn't have like a bunch of random. You know what? No, don't name this whatever you want. We're gonna name it mod menu by Papa Hacker dot py. So you definitely have to do the .py at the end or it will not work and you will get scammed. But make sure the rest of it says mod menu by Papa Hacker, which is really important. And then definitely make sure it says .py at the end or else you will get scammed. So now that we have that done, we're just going to click off of it. It's going to say mod menu by Papa Hacker .py. And so up here, we're going to type in import. So you guys are all script kiddies. I know you don't know what this means, but essentially import brings the mod into the file. So that way when you run the file, it knows that it needs this mod. So we're going to type in import py auto GUI and enter. And then and then I usually click Control S on the keyboard like after I do most things. That way it saves. So if you see down here, do you want to install recommended Python installation? We're going to install that. We're going to click over here. We're going to click install. I think you can also get to that through extensions and then typing in Python, but I don't usually follow the steps very well. So I'm just going to click it through here. So I'll be back in a second when this finishes installing. Okay, guys. So it looks like something happened. It looks like this installed. So yep, we're installed now. We're going to go back over here to our mod menu. We're going to close out of this. I think we're going to go back to Explorer because that's where our folder is. So right here, you can see there's like a little thing under here. We're not going to necessarily read what all this says, but essentially it's telling us that this is not working. This doesn't do something. Something's wrong there. So we're going to open up a command prompt. You just type in command. It'll show up command prompt and then you click it and then it opens up over here. We're going to type in pip install Pi Auto GUI and click enter. Look, it doesn't know what pip is, so we need to open up our command prompt again. So if you install Python with your command prompt open, it switches to the new, it doesn't update. So you just have to close it and reopen it. Pip install Pi Auto GUI. And it's going to install now. It's just for some reason, whenever you have the command prompt open and you install something, you always have to reopen it or else it's going to mess up. So now we're hacking Python right now. It's installing build dependencies and we're hacking. So that's pretty good. We want to leave that going for now. While we're waiting for that, let's move some of this stuff around so that way it makes it easier to see a couple things because we're going to have to install more stuff as we go. And I just want to kind of move some of this out of the way. So now that's working. We are getting our mods going. So now you can see right here, getting requirements to build wheels. For those of you guys who don't know, there's a lot of wheels involved with computers. So you just have to make sure that the wheels build correctly. So that way you can roll the install from one place of the computer to the other place on the hard drive. And lots of things are rolling from one place to another, which I don't know if you know this or not, but computers use a lot of like wheels and balls and gears and stuff. And that's how like the whole thing, that's why you hear like the hard drive spins and stuff. See, we're building a lot of wheels here, a lot of wheels. Okay, cool. So we successfully built all of this stuff. So the computer is an architect now. So now the little error is going to go away and we're pretty good. So the first step we are going to do is we are actually not going to be building this for the first step. So what we're going to do is we're going to click new file, and this is going to not make sense at first, but you'll understand it in a minute. Just type in git mouse.py. So when building the mod menu, there's two different types. I think I've said this already several times. There's two different types of mod menus we can build. We can build the first one where it looks for pictures on the screen. So it's going to look for pictures of buy now. And the second one is way easier and faster. We are going to be looking for a mouse position on the screen. So starting up here being 0, 0, 0 and being down here like a million, we're going to be going to this exact spot every single time on the screen and clicking right here. So if this is in a different place, like down here, it's still going to be going right here to click. If this is, like way over here, it's, if this is like way over here, it's still going to be clicking right here. So you just want to make sure on your screen, you probably want this full screen. I have it like this right now because I don't want you guys to see any usernames. Actually, I don't think there's any usernames left. Yeah, it doesn't matter. So more than likely you want it like positioned perfectly in the corner, and you want it like full screen like that. So that way it's going to be the exact same every time. So you can do that or not do that. I don't really care. I'm telling you to do that right now. If you don't do it and it messes up, you'll see later why it doesn't work. So now we made a new file called getMouse. So this is going to be a tool for us to use as we build this to make this easier. So we're going to type in import py auto GUI. And so we're going to do one more thing here. So every file that I make usually needs time. So we're going to do import time, which is super important. If you want your script to like do things in time, you have to make sure you have this. So the first thing we're going to do is we're actually going to make a sleep function, and we're also going to make a loop. So we want it to get the mouse position 3 times, but we want it to wait a second or two before it does it. So in order to do things like 3 times, we could either just type it out 3 times, or we can do what's called a for loop, where it'll do it however many times we tell it to do it, and we don't have to copy it each time. So we're going to do for I in I think it's len 3. We'll see if this works. So part of making bots is sometimes it doesn't always work. Maybe it's range. That looks like it might work. So for I in range 3, I just is like what's called a variable. So essentially range 3 means it's going to go up to 3, and I means on turn 1 it's going to do 1, turn 2 it's going to be 2, turn 3 it's going to be 3. Sometimes it's important, sometimes it's not. In this case it's not important. So what we want to do is we want to do py auto GUI dot I think it's like mouse position dot position. Yep, there we go. And so this means it's going to get the mouse position, but that's not very helpful unless you print it to the screen. So we're going to do print py auto GUI position, and then we want it to do time dot sleep. So we want it to sleep for like 3 seconds, or we want it to sleep for 1 second between each one. And so essentially it's going to go 1, sleep a second, 2, sleep a second, 3, sleep a second, and then once it's done with 3, it's done. So let's try this out. Click Control S on your keyboard, click the play button, and it should start running down here. Yep, just started running, and now it's getting my mouse position. 1, 2, 3, and then it's done. So it says point, and it shows our mouse position. So let me click this. Let me move the mouse to right here, and we got that 3 times. So I like printing it out more than once, just so that way you can make sure it didn't like lag and get your position from like a minute ago. So let's click it, move our mouse, and we got almost the same position again. So it's working. So this is going to be the first script that we make, and that's the first script you're going to run, and you're going to use this to start getting mouse positions. So let me pull it back over here and let me copy and paste it. So now I have this copied over here. So I just want to make sure as I go along, I have all the right things installed and I'm not skipping a step for you guys. So I know we were doing this in here, but I'm also going to be doing it here. So that way I can make sure that I actually make a working bot. And I also make sure you guys have the right things installed. So we're going to be taking it step by step. Okay, so you guys can change this to like 10 if you wanted to do it 10 times. You can change this to like 10 seconds if you want it to sleep 10 seconds in between each time. I just recommend leaving it 3 and 1. You can do whatever you want. It's your computer. You're gonna get scammed, but you can do whatever you want. So now what we want to do is now we're actually going to be making the bot. Okay guys, so now we're actually going to be making the bot. So for my bot, so essentially making bots is just solving a problem. So the problem we're trying to solve is we want it to click, 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 and you want it to go through all of these, and then you want it to press R after it's done. So in order to do that, you have to figure out how do you want it to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a list of mouse positions that it needs to click on each position before it goes on to the next thing. So kind of like how we did here, where we did for a range, but instead of being I and then range 3 here, we're going to give it a list right here, and we're going to have it go for each number in the list. We want it to click on that spot. So let's do buy this equals, and then we're going to give it, so these bracket here, you have to use this bracket. The next, you have to use this bracket. So next to the P, you're just going to click that button to the right of it, and it's going to do the square bracket. If you're not doing the square bracket, you're going to get scammed. So what we want to do first is we want to find out the mouse position. I'm not going to, yeah, I think you can buy this still. No, that's in the way, I guess. So I'm going to start off with this one. So I want to get the mouse position of this buy button. So I'm going to do click right here, and I'm going to hold my mouse right there and wait a second. And now I have the buy position. So what I want to do is 321, comma, 492. You can either do spaces in between like this or not. I don't like doing spaces, so I'm not doing spaces. So now we have the very first list of coordinates. But wait, we need to do it several more times. So I'm just going to do these 5. You can add more to your list, but I'm just going to do these 5 just to keep it easy for right now. So what we need to do is make a list within a list. So this is going to make sense after we do this. So let's do another list here. Oops. So now we have a list in a list. And so what we're going to do is do a comma, and then we're going to do another one, and then a comma, and then another one, and then a comma, and another one. So we're going to keep going for each time we want to buy something. So we want to buy here, 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 here. So we need one more. So now we're going to have, so this is going to be the structure of the list. We're going to have a list of 2 numbers, and we're going to have 5 of those lists within a list. So these are our coordinates, our X and our Y, and then we're going to have each coordinate. So what we're going to do is let's go ahead and run through and get all of our mouse positions. Easy enough. Make sure it looks like this though. It's number, comma, number. You don't want any of the extra stuff or else it's not going to work. So you can copy paste it, but make sure you take out anything that's not number, comma, number. So that means we have to take out, you can leave the spaces, but you're probably going to get scammed if you leave the spaces. Is that the one I just, yeah, that's the one I just did. I feel like a dummy. So I'm on this one now. Whoops. Okay, so that one. And let's do the last one. Okay, so now we have those. Let's go ahead and copy that last one in. So now we have the positions on the screen that we want to click. So we want to click each one of these. You could add in the top ones, but I'm not going to add it in right now because this is in my way. If I made it full screen, it wouldn't be in my way and it would be fine. So now is going to be something kind of important. So I usually like to put in some kind of break. So if we put 1,000,000 here and we clicked on the play button, there's no easy way to stop it unless you like close everything. So you can leave it like that, but I'm going to make basically a kill switch button to where if I hold down the Q on my keyboard, it quits the program. So I'm going to import, hang on, import keyboard. And let's make sure you guys have this too. So we're going to go to import keyboard. Okay, so it looks like you guys aren't going to have this. So what we're going to do is pip install keyboard. And we're going to let that install. Okay, cool. So now we just downloaded and installed keyboard. And this went away. So perfect. You guys have keyboard now. So what we're going to do is we want to keep this running over and over and over again. So what we're going to do is we're going to type in while keyboard, oops, hang on. Keyboard dot is, I think it's is pressed. Yeah, keyboard is pressed. And then you can type in whatever key you want here. I like using the Q just because it's in the corner. You can make this whatever you want, but when you hold down this button while the bot's running, it's going to quit. So while keyboard is pressed equals false. And then we're going to run stuff here. All right, don't worry guys. I realized that the camera's blocking So I'm going to put this up on the screen right now and show you guys the final bot. But I do expect you to keep watching the video so that way you understand what we're doing. But I am putting the code up on the screen right now, so that way you can see what's actually happening that the camera's blocking. I do expect you to keep watching the full video though, because if you don't, your computer will probably get hacked if you end up like missing a step or something. So it is important that you keep watching the rest of the video. So I'm just putting this up now. Make sure to copy down whatever you're missing, but make sure to keep following the video so that way you don't get hacked. All right, thanks guys. So as long as your keyboard, as long as you're not holding down Q, it's going to keep running this over and over again till infinity unless you're holding down that key. So you can leave it like that, or you can change this to something else. But essentially you want something that looks like this now. And so what we're going to do now that we have this, which means it's going to run forever, we want to go through each one of our numbers here. So we're going to do 4. And then right now you're going to type in a word here, but you could type in whatever you want. This is called a variable. We're just going to store something in this for a second. So like here we typed in buy this and we stored all of this. You can type in whatever word you want right here and store stuff in it. There's either 2 easy ways to do it. You either type in I, or you type in something that makes it easier to understand. So for, let's say item in, and then we're going to give it a list, which is buy this. So essentially for each item in buy this, so each item being set of variables. So each time we do this, it's going to return one of these values. So it's going to return this one, and then it's going to return this one, and then this one, and this one. And it's going to go through all of them. And once it's done, once it goes through each one, then this is done. And then it's going to restart from the beginning because we have this here. So for each item, what we want to do is we're going to want to click something. So let's make a click function. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to create So what we're going to do is we're going to create a function up here. So we're going to type in def, which stands for definition. And we're going to say click. And then we're just going to do parentheses. We're going to do parentheses here. And we're going to type in X, comma, Y. And then we're going to have something right here. So what I like to do, so once we give this to, once we Once we have our X and Y's, we can't just, we could make something that just says click there, but I like moving the mouse to the position, waiting a second, and then clicking, and it's going to make it so much smoother. So you can just randomly click as quickly as you can, but it makes it better if you move the mouse there first and then click it. It just helps to separate things. So now we're going to need something. So there's a couple different ways you can do this. I like using a program called AIT. So sometimes not everything will work. So we're going to do another import. So we're going to do to import AIT. So you're more than likely not going to have AIT. So what we're going to do, I bet you can't guess what we're going to do. I'll give you a second to guess. All right, you're probably wrong because it's not pip install AIT. It's pip install auto it. I think it's auto it or it's pi auto it. Was that it? Was it auto it? Yeah, it was auto it. Okay, so yeah, you're going to do pip install auto it, and then it's going to install this. So essentially, there's a lot of different ways you can click on the screen, and I find auto it is by far the best. So what we're going to do, so when we call this, so we are making our own function. So like right here, it says is pressed. We're essentially making our own one of those. So what we're going to do is we're going to type in AIT, and we want to move the mouse, dot move. And then we're going to give it X and Y. So whatever X and Y functions we put in up here, it's going to use those same variables down here, and I'll explain that in a second. You can leave a space there, don't leave a space there, I don't really care. So after we move the mouse, I like waiting a second and then clicking. So we're going to do time dot sleep. Oh, we didn't import time in this one yet. So we're going to do time dot sleep, and then I'm just going to do like 0.2 seconds. You don't need to wait a long time. You can experiment with this, wait longer, wait shorter, whatever you want. I'm going to do 0.02 seconds. And then we're going to do AIT dot click, and then X and Y. So I found sometimes you have to move the mouse, and then once you're hovering over something, then click on it. It's a lot more graceful than just immediately like spamming around clicking on the screen. So you can experiment, you can remove this stuff, you can just leave it as this. This is what I found to work the best. So this isn't going to do anything until this is called. So like keyboard is pressed. This isn't going to do anything until we actually do something with it. So right now we have this is going to repeat forever unless you're holding down Q. And then this is going to go through each item on the list, but it's not going to do anything with those items yet. So let's look at what our lists look like. So we have our X coordinate and then our Y coordinate. So for item and by this, what we want to do is we want to click using our X and our Y. So we're going to do by this. This is going to make a lot more sense in a second. And we're going to do 0. And then we're going to do by this 1. And what we're going to do is we're going to, so right now, all we have is this item and by this item is this. So what we want to do, oh wait, no, I think I messed up here. I did mess up here. You guys caught me lacking. Okay. So so for item and by this is the entire list. Item is going to be just this. So now that we have just this list, we want to get our X out of it and our Y out of it, and we want to hand them to click. So let's start off with click. So now how do we get, so essentially this is what we're going to have right now. Let me just do this so it makes sense. So essentially this is what item looks like. So we want to grab the first number and then we want to grab the second number. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to type in item. And then to get the first number, computers don't count from 1, they count from 0. So we're going to do 0. And then we're going to do item, item 1. So essentially we're going to click, and we need our X value. So we're going to go to item, which is going to look like this. And we need the 0 character and then item. And then we need the first character, which is right there. And it's going to now take each time it goes through, it's going to take a new one of these and we're going to click on it. So then what do we do after we click on all of them? We already bought all of them. Now we need to click R and we want to restart. You can either manually click on it or press R on the keyboard. So now that we have that, we want to go backspace 1 and we want to be on the same level as this, because if we indent it, it's going to do it each time. It's going to do this, 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 this. What we want to do is go back once so it does all of these and then goes on to the next thing. So now we need to use our keyboard one. So we're going to do keyboard dot press and release, and then we're going to type in R. So now that we have this, this should be our entire script. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on this in a second here, and it's going to do this forever. So let's click it and then let's see if the bot works. So as you can see, one of mine is in the wrong space. So I'm going to hold down Q, but it's working. It's buying all of these shoes. So I'm going to hold down Q, and the second one's in the wrong space. For some reason, this one is not in the right space. So we can either take a guess at why it's in the wrong space, or we can use the mouse again. So let's go ahead and use the mouse. Let's hover over this. Okay, 462, 496. Let's see. 62, and then 496. So now let's click Control S to save, and let's click this again. Dang, our bot's working. Okay guys, so just like that, we made a super simple bot. Hopefully you guys understand what we actually did, how we did it. And if you guys like this video and you want me to make more Roblox bots, go ahead and tell me what game in Roblox you want me to make it in, and let me know what other games you guys want. So let me know down in the comment section what bots you guys want. I'll make the bots. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, or else I'm going to take your Roblox account. I'm going to take all your V-Bucks. I'm going to take all your Roblox. And as always, guys, make sure you guys hit that like button if you guys like this video. If you hit the dislike button, then I'll also take all your Roblox. So make sure to hit that like button, make sure to subscribe. And if you guys like this video, let me know down in the comment section. If you guys don't let me know in the comment section, I'm going to ban all your Roblox accounts. All right, see you guys.